Hey guys, Local here with Darshan. Darshan, congrats on the win. I'm gonna admit something. Last time when we did the interview and you were super positive about it, after the interview I was like, oh man, next week's gonna be rough for Darshan. He's gonna be playing FlyQuest. You actually destroyed Viper with your jacks. What happened today?
I think that it was just a draft where I was in a good position to shine. I think my teammates played well, I played well, and yeah, it was just pretty easy. Like once we get one gank off in a carry versus carry matchup, game's over.
For sure. How confident are you in that Jax versus Ribbon matchup?
I'm super confident in like any carry matchup. Honestly, like I feel like most of the top laners, like in NA, I feel like any carry matchup, I'll just win out most of the time. Especially if I have like a jungler like Sejuani, it's just like hell yeah, let's fight top.
So Wiggly did actually such a good job of hiding in that brush. Who called it? Did you tell him to come and hide, or did Wiggly say, I'm going to come and hide here because Ribbon's going to come in?
It was something that I communicated, but I think that even if I had not, I think it was something he would look for.
But something that you communicated.
Yeah. I mean, the laner usually communicates it too, but, I think Wiggly would figure it out himself.
Yeah, because that's such a core play. Jungler just sitting up top lane, and I was really surprised that Viper went aggressive there with his wave pushing and Centaurian all the way bottom. I think Olaf was doing his double goal. And did you guys expect a 2v2, or what did you guys expect to happen in that situation?
Yeah, I think a 2v2 would have been more likely. I think it's a common play in LCK. I mean, if you watch TSM's games, like Acadians in that brush, like every game on Sejuani, like pretty soon these top laners are going to catch on, but, we caught him unsuspected.
They caught him. So what's the relationship with Wiggly been like? Because he's a very new jungler coming into LCS, and previously you had Reignover, also a really great jungler, but didn't do that well. So I was kind of curious, like, because you had a great relationship with Xmithy. You guys played really well together, and with Reignover, not so much. And yeah, what's it been like with Wiggly?
I think it's been pretty good. Actually, like he's a rookie, but I think what I like about him is he's super passionate. He's kind of like, I'd say he's like a more emotional player, but I think that's really good to drive us towards improvement. And I feel like he's open to trying out even like the craziest ganks top, or even like when we're playing bot side, I think he has a good job. Like he does a good job of like ganking every lane. And I feel like with other junglers, maybe like they try something once, it messes up. They're like, okay, I don't want to like gank this guy's lane, or I don't want to try this. But I think he's pretty open, and I think that it's been nice to have him. Even though he's a rookie, I think he's improving pretty fast.
So speaking of passionate and very good young junglers, you guys actually worked with Dardoch before. It didn't go the best. How are you guys able to work well with Wiggly and not so well with Dardoch? What was so different?
So I think Dardoch was pretty good. Actually, personally, I felt like I worked pretty well with him. Like I think in the split when we were playing with him, we were first place, and like we were just smashing 2v2s like topside like all the time. And I think that was a split when people were like, oh, Darshan's like one of the best top laners, or Jat was saying that or something. So definitely like played well with Dardoch. And then I think with Wiggly, he has less experience than Dardoch, but I think that he kind of has a similar type of passion. I think he channels it in a like more productive way at times. And I think that, yeah, he's just more inexperienced, but he's getting there. Like, he's still making some plays and scrims where, like, yeah, he needs to learn from that. Like, I don't think, someone who's, like, really experienced would make those, but he just learns from it quick, like, takes accountability and then moves forward. So I like that.
So you guys beat FlyQuest, one of the kind of the securely locked top 4 teams. Now you guys have a decent shot at playoffs. I mean, you guys always had a decent shot at playoffs, but what's it looking like for your playoff picture? Who would be your most ideal first round opponent?
Do we know what teams are going to make playoffs? It's like TL, C9, TSM probably, and then FlyQuest probably, and then it's potentially us and like how many other teams? Like Guardians, Echo Fox. Honestly, like I'm not too worried about playing any team first round. Probably not like ideally not C9 or TL, but besides that, I think like TL and C9 are like the teams that are like clearly like a little bit better. Mm-hmm. But even C9 and TL, their early games aren't too good sometimes. Like, I don't know if you watched C9's latest game, but they just didn't look that hot in early games. So, yeah, I'm not too worried about any other team, but I'd say C9 and TL are probably the ones that I'd want to go against less.
Who do you want to go against more?
More? I don't know. I just want to play against someone who's going to play carry versus carry matchups top lane. That'll be hella fun. Ban out the Scion from me. Let's throw down in the top lane. Like, I'll take any matchup. Aurelia versus Yasuo, like Fiora versus anything. Just throw in any carries top lane. I'll play Riven. I'll play anything.
Sounds like you really like carry matchups. Do you get depressed or do you become sad whenever tanks are the meta and your coach kind of is forcing you to play tanks?
I think it can suck playing a tank and then just getting pushed in all the time. But honestly, sometimes tanks are hella fun. Like Sion has like the highest base damage in the game, so you're just like one-shotting people. And sometimes I build damage on them too, so it's pretty fun. I think like the most boring tanks are Maokai, right? Like who the hell wants to play Maokai? You're just like WQE. So yeah, I don't mind it. Carries are more fun.
So now into the future of the season, you're going to play all the teams again. When you match up versus C9 and TL for the second time, do you have something special planned? Do you feel confident going against these teams that you said you don't want to play in the playoffs?
Against TL, I feel like Impact like gets left on an island more, and I feel like he's like 1v1. I feel like carry matchups he's particularly bad in, so I feel like he's gonna resort more to tanks, and then I feel like that's an easier time for me. So I feel like Team Liquid especially is like easier to play against topside because they want to camp double lane all the time. And then I think for C9, usually I do pretty well against Licorice, like especially in scrims. So I feel like I'm not too worried about either team from like a topside perspective. I think that just as a team, they're like stronger, like more consistent than us. So I think that's kind of where we really need to level up to beat them.
So lastly, I want to ask about Fallen Bandit. He's your, I guess, like squad mate or teammate. He's the sub behind you. Initially, CLG talked about a 10-man roster. In week 1, you guys actually share spots. What's that relationship been like? And what's it like also having like a sub behind you?
I think it's so I think it started out especially nice at the beginning of the split. I think it's good to have someone who's like, oh, this guy's competing for your spot. This guy's like playing LCS games. You can get replaced. I think like recently we haven't been doing it as much, but I think like it's an option that's still there if we're not performing. But personally, like the way I see it, or like the way I love being best challenged is like, say I have like the Shy or like somebody else who's like, this guy is like clearly like way better than me. Or actually, I don't even know. Well, like, okay, maybe you don't want to get into that, but like someone who's clearly like crazy talented, and then like I feel like I could learn a lot. I feel like with Fallen Bandit, he's great, and I still like do 1v1s with him and learn things from him, but I feel like he still has some things he needs to learn before like he's laning at like the top tier level. So I'd say it's nice to have him. It would be like great to have someone who's crazy talented, but I think having the 10-man roster, having him and like being able to be replaced is a good pressure to have.
It's not a pressure that a lot of people want to have.
Yeah, I feel like typically if you don't want that, you're just kind of like insecure, because I feel like if you're not confident in your own ability, like if you're not confident in your own ability to improve or just like prove your usefulness to the team, then I feel like you have like other issues and you're just not going to keep improving. Like I feel like it's a bad mindset, right? So I think that pro players shouldn't be afraid of being replaced, and I feel like they should just use that as like a challenge where it's like I can get better, I think like people would do better if they just kind of took their egos out of the equation more.
So today in LCS Saturday, there was a lot of interesting games, we'll say, for the earlier in the day. I'm not sure you got to watch.
Those were some fiestas. Like honestly, I'm glad that we could pull out a clean game after seeing what we did. Throw some hope back in NA. It's not like, oh man, look at all these shit teams. But oh wow, CLG, they played the cleanest game today. That's crazy, right?
It is crazy. You guys got a lead and you guys were actually able to close it out.
Yeah, it was nice.
Why do you think NA teams have a tendency to, let's say, fiesta?
I think there's like a combination of just like inexperience, and sometimes I think Sven said something like, oh, if you fall behind and the team can't close it out, that's just because they're bad, not because like the team from behind is necessarily playing well. So I can kind of agree with that sentiment a little bit. I feel like Fox got a lead in the game today and they just did a terrible job of closing it out. I think same thing with Clutch. Like they ran it down one by one, like 6 people getting caught in a row to throw that game. I feel like it's much more on the people who have the lead to throw, and I think that's the big thing with NA is just playing clean, not making the mistake. And one mistake kind of stops the snowball, but if you don't make mistakes, you just have a clean game like we had. So I just think in NA, the teams that are playing from ahead just have a tendency to make mistakes.
Any final words for Darshan fans, CLG fans, old school Zion Spartan fans?
I want to say thanks for the support. I'm glad that I could get a game off Zion onto a carry today, and hopefully no matter what I'm playing, we can continue to do well as a team and make it to playoffs, maybe even top 2. Actually, yeah, there's a chance of top 2. I'm hoping we can do top 2. If not, top 3, make it to playoffs and smash some kids.
All right. If you want to see him smash some kids, could you guys smash the like button and subscribe button?
Yep, I'd smash that like button.
All right. Thank you so much for the interview, Darshan. Thank you so much to Low Key Community for making this interview happen. If you guys want to support them, the link is going to be down in the bio.